Welcome to the International House. We're here for a conference, as you know, on venture capital and private equity investing in China, progress, pitfalls, and profits. We're very excited to have you here. I'm Camille Crittenden. I'm Assistant Dean for Development in International and Area Studies, and I will be serving as your Jon Stewart today, hosting the program. I'd like to take just a minute to give you a couple of housekeeping tips while we're going to share the day here today, and then give a short overview of what International and Area Studies is here at UC Berkeley. As you probably saw on your way in, there are restrooms out here through the lobby. There are landline phones, should you need them, over here. There's also wireless access in the back room if you need that, and that's also where various refreshments will be throughout the day, so be sure to help yourself. International and Area Studies is a multidisciplinary division within UC Berkeley. It's a very broad-ranging division that has over 50 units, programs, institutes, and centers, all having to do with study of things outside the U.S. These could be divided geographically, for instance, the Center for Chinese Studies, Center for Korean Studies, etc., or there are also multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary projects like the Human Rights Center and the Center for Science, Technology, and Society. We also have undergraduate and master's degree programs, and we offer various services to visiting international students and scholars, as well as residential facilities, which iHouse is one of those. Under the leadership of Dean John Lee, International and Area Studies has launched a number of new initiatives that we're very excited about, and one of the most prominent of those is the Berkeley China Initiative. Tom Gold, our Associate Dean for External Relations, is here to talk with you about that right now. Tom is an Associate Professor of Sociology here at UC Berkeley. He received his master's and PhD from Harvard, and his research focuses on many aspects of society in mainland China and Taiwan. And he will tell you a few more things about the Berkeley China Initiative. Please welcome Tom Gold.
Well, thank you very much, Camille. I'd like to add my welcome to all of you, and thank you for taking time away from your busy schedules to attend what I'm sure will be a very informative and useful conference. I've sensed some anxiety in the room about being on campus. Let me assure you that the test is open book, take home, and self-paced. Very fast-paced, I can assure you, as you'll find out as the day goes along. Before I launch into my remarks, it's a very sensitive mic, wow. I want to thank Dick Palmer of Morgan Stanley. Dick, you want to stand up and take a... and Tom Garvey of Cisco Systems for their support of this inaugural conference of the Berkeley China Initiative. Today's meeting is actually Dick's brainchild, and his extraordinary enthusiasm and support for the China Initiative, to say nothing of his Rolodex, have been critical to getting us to this milestone in a very short time. I want to open today's conference by first talking for a few minutes about this very new undertaking here at Cal, the Berkeley China Initiative. The fact that so many of you are attending this conference, and will be joined by many more as the day goes along, is testimony, if any were needed, to the extraordinary interest that China has stirred among Americans across the board, not only in the business world, but in no particular order in the areas of culture, science and technology, security, immigration, environment and energy, criminality, public health, and of course education. It seems as if everyone is waking to the fact that China is a player which needs to be taken into consideration in any kind of strategizing for the short or long run. Cal, in fact, has a very long history of links to China, stretching back more than 100 years. We have faculty expertise in more than 20 departments. Our library resources are regarded as the best in the country. 41% of our undergraduates are Asian or Asian American background. What is Cal's competitive advantage? Well, just bureaucratically, we have for support of China studies, we have the Institute of International and Area Studies. Then we have the Institute of East Asian Studies, the Center for Chinese Studies. The Center for Chinese Studies library is generally regarded as the best library for the study of contemporary China anywhere in the world. We have just appointed the only expert in electronic resources who will head a Center for Chinese Studies library anywhere. This is dramatically upgrading our ability for conducting electronic-based research on China. We have the new Tian Center Library, which will be opening next year in 2007. We'll have a number of programs around that. We have over 70 faculty members across campus working on various aspects of China. Since the initiative began, we have inventoried our assets and have amazed ourselves at the breadth and depth of faculty members working on China. We offer over 100 courses related to China. We have more than 1,200 students taking Chinese language, preparing themselves for careers involving China. And at any one time, we have over 100 undergraduates studying in China. Compared with our peer institutions, with its location on the Pacific Rim, Berkeley has been a natural attraction for students, faculty, and resources related to China. Through the China Initiative, our faculty are becoming aware of each other's ongoing work, and the momentum of encouraging other faculty members to think about pursuing research on China-related issues is growing dramatically. Let me just show you a slide here about Chinese language course enrollments. You can see that they have been increasing dramatically over the course of the last few years. This indicates the steady and strong demand for Chinese language courses, both among heritage students, which is the purple line, as well as the non-heritage population. More and more of our students are preparing for careers involving China. The bad news is that state funding for the university, which of course includes China studies, has been declining steadily, though due to special agreement between the governor and the president, there has been a slight increase for this year. What's at risk because of this declining state support? First of all, students are turned away from language classes for lack of space. Every year, more than 100 students who wish to start the study of Chinese are turned away because we don't have space for them. We have gaps in our faculty. In particular, we have an absence of specialists in some departments and professional schools. We have no one in the law school or in the business school who teaches courses on law in China or doing business in China, even though we do have faculty who conduct research on China. We think that this is a severe gap, especially compared to our peer institutions. Our graduate students, our fellowship packages that we are able to offer graduate students are not competitive with the packages offered to our peer institutions. These include such private schools as Harvard, Stanford, Yale, Chicago, and so on, but also public institutions such as the University of Michigan, the University of Wisconsin, and even UCLA. There's, of course, a very long lead time between beginning a graduate program in Chinese studies and then actually going into the workforce, and the financial commitment that our graduate students make is very great. And a number of our undergraduates who wish to study in China are unable to because we don't have the funding to support them. We do have every year somewhere between 70 and 100 students who do participate in programs in China, but there's still many more who are unable to pay the tariff. These are our peer institutions, the ones we compete with most directly in the field of China studies. So on the left, you've got the usual suspects, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Chicago, and Stanford. But on the right, as I said a minute ago, Michigan, Wisconsin, and UCLA state institutions are able to offer better packages to their graduate students, including graduate students from China, which is one of our main problems here, much better than we are able to offer here at Cal. Here's a rather dramatic slide, comparing the annual budget for China studies between Harvard and Berkeley. Harvard's is somewhere in the neighborhood of $1.3 million. Ours is slightly more than $200,000 a year. our historic strengths and the tremendous opportunities and need in the field of China studies, and our own responsibility as a public university, the top levels of the Cal administration decided to identify China studies as a key area for support, and that's why they have launched the Berkeley China Initiative just as of last July. First, our goal is to establish UC Berkeley as the premier institution for research and teaching about China. China-related activities in the Bay Area and around the world. That's to say that we see that we have a great opportunity and responsibility to communicate and share the research results and well-trained personnel at Cal with the larger community. What are our strategies for success? First is to increase access to excellence. We are determined to attract the best students and scholars from around the world. As I said, this is an area where we have not had the funding comparable to our peer institutions, but we want to work very hard in order to change that. We want to be able to offer undergraduate scholarships, graduate fellowships, including and especially students coming from China, as well as language training. As students enter Cal interested in studying Chinese, we have found that because more and more high schools are offering Chinese, we not only have a great demand for introductory Chinese, but we have more demand for advanced level Chinese. So one of our challenges is offering more and more advanced level Chinese courses, including in specialized areas such as business Chinese and legal Chinese. The demand is there, and we hope to be able to meet that. We need to strengthen our faculty resources. We need to recruit faculty, especially, as I said before, in the professional schools, such as law, business, and public policy. We need to find ways to retain our faculty, who are often lured away by other peer universities. And we want to strengthen our collaboration with our colleagues within the United States and around the world. A number of universities in China, as well as in Europe, approach us on a regular basis to establish exchange programs, to hold conferences, to exchange students in the China field. We want to be able to do this at a much higher level. We want to be able to make Cal available, the colleagues and the library resources at Cal, for visiting scholars to come and join us from around the world. We want to find more and more ways to communicate the latest research results and to share our expertise and that of our students with the rest of the field. We want to find ways to share the best practices and encourage international exchange. This includes not only graduate students, but professionals as well. We want to be able to make it possible for visiting scholars and professionals in all fields to spend time at Cal learning from their colleagues and meeting our students who will be the next generation of people to engage in professional work with China. We're working to expand public outreach and also to deal with new media. We are planning a number of conferences both at Cal and elsewhere to take advantage of this. For instance, at the end of May, we will be hosting with the Chinese Foreign Affairs University a major conference on climate change in China. Plans for that are already underway. In September, the opening performance of Cal Performance will be a 3-night, 9-hour performance of the Peony Pavilion, a classic Chinese opera with a troupe coming from China, very large production. We're going to sponsor exhibitions, master classes, scholarly panels, and lectures around the performance of Peony Pavilion. Is that me doing that, or is that, wow. We also are stepping up our work in new media with electronic publications and a comprehensive web portal. Cal is hosting something called the China Digital Times. It's been up and running for the last several months without much fanfare. It is already getting over 10,000 hits a day because of its ability to convey the latest news and opinions about China. Of course, our development in the new media area we think would be of extraordinary interest to our friends and colleagues in Silicon Valley. What will this take? We estimate that for student scholarships, fellowships, and services, we would need something in the order of $9.75 million. For faculty positions and research support, $7.7 million. For postdoctoral fellows and visiting scholars, $5.4 million. And for public outreach and new media, $6.05 million. So far, with our limited funds, we can guarantee that we have been wise stewards over the years, trying to make the most of the resources that have been available to us. But we do not think, we are not satisfied that we have done enough to reach our potential and to communicate better with the community. Now we need to expand our reach, inviting friends to help us achieve more, or at worst, not fall behind our peer institutions. I can assure you that there is a huge multiplier effect for investment in these programs, especially those serving undergraduates and the public. A dollar goes a very long way. I want to again convey the enthusiasm on campus among faculty and undergraduates and graduate students for China studies and for careers involving China. The China Initiative has a goal of raising $30 million over the next 5 years. And this is the breakdown of the different areas that we're looking to support, which I just mentioned. How can you help, you may be asking? First of all, through seed funding, through startup funds. In other words, venture capital with Cal. Through supporting current programs. We see enormous marketing opportunities here and great opportunities for brand alignment. Let me just throw out some crazy thoughts here. How about the Morgan Stanley Dick Palmer Fellowship for Study in China? Or the Cisco Systems Tom Garvey Lecture Series on Business in China? Or the Xu Family Endowed Chair in Chinese Studies? Just some wild thoughts. I'm sure that some of you could think of other programs that you would find worthy of supporting here at Cal. You could endow programs connecting your company with Berkeley in perpetuity or beyond. And especially you can be an ambassador. Tell your friends about what we're doing here and provide introductions to us and to other members of the community. We have created a lot of buzz over just the last few months about the Berkeley China Initiative. We're receiving a lot of inquiries from other campuses around the country and actually around the world about what we're doing here and how we can raise the profile of China studies, recruit new faculty, recruit visiting scholars, recruit students. So we're really setting what seems to be the standard for developing China studies at a major research university. 2 ways to contact us: through email, bci@berkeley.edu, and through our website, bci.berkeley.edu, which is just up and running in the last week. And any suggestions you have for improving it and information that you would like to see there, please let us know. At Cal, we're supporting, we think, the most cutting-edge, informed research on all aspects of China, past, present, and future. We're training the next generation of Americans who have unprecedented skills and background in Chinese affairs, and will serve in business, government, nonprofits, research and development, academic, and other sectors. We're committed not only to excellence on campus, but also to sharing our abilities and knowledge broadly with the Bay Area community, as well as networking globally. Since we started the initiative last July, we have set about breaking down the sort of barriers among departments and professional schools which are common at big universities like Cal, what the Chinese refer to as feudal kingdoms, if not downright warring states. Faculty have been surprised and energized to learn about all that is going on their very campus, and are eagerly setting up working groups, which also involve students, visiting scholars, and members of the community to help us achieve our goals. I believe that in some of the material you received today, there are lists of some of the working groups that we have that are underway. And if any of you are interested in participating in those, please let us know. Once again, welcome and thanks for coming. If you have further questions about the China Initiative, there's material in your tote bags, and Camille and I will be happy to answer your questions throughout the day. Now I'd like to bring back Camille, who will introduce David Darst of Morgan Stanley to get the program underway. Thank you very much for your attention, and have a great day.